Good afternoon.
Hey everybody. Yeah, I was about to say good morning, or whatever time it is.
Yeah, me too. It's morning for someone.
Yes, your different time zone. Good morning, afternoon, or whenever you're watching this. Um, as um, was it the Jim Carrey movie, Truman Show? One of my favorite ones. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. You never seen Truman Show?
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, that is such a good movie.
I'll have to check it out.
Such a good movie. I think it was one of Jim Carrey's best ones because it wasn't his typical shtick with the goofy humor.
Yeah.
Um,
So he's serious in this movie?
Yeah, but he's serious but funny.
Hmm.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I liked it.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. So, hello everybody. Welcome to another Maximize Monday. I can see I still look a little pixelated, like it's moving a little.
A little bit, but I can hear you clearly, so
That's good.
that's good.
I better heard than seen, so it's fine. I'd say ever since the Super Bowl, some people were out there cutting wires and stuff.
That's
The
crazy.
internet's been acting up for some people, and I think it happened in Philly, but it still affected people like in the region, of course.
Mhm. Everything's connected, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I guess somebody got drunk and just decided to be stupid, and
Well, is his internet messed up?
I don't know.
That's what I want to know.
Probably too drunk to even realize. Hey, Cynthia, how you doing? Welcome to Maximize Monday. If you didn't get a chance to watch yesterday's message, you should go back and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Bishop did like a State of the Union, type thing, something about the state of our country and love, and
Yeah.
maybe we can pick that up today and kind of talk through some of that.
Oh
Um,
boy. All right.
and not the politics of it, but just concepts. But you should go back and watch it because I think it's separate too, right? So you separated out already.
It's the whole message,
Hmm.
including his statement that he made.
Yes, yeah,
This
okay,
is all kind of
blended in. Okay,
fine.
all right, good. And Jeanette, so go back and watch it. We have Bible study Wednesday night. Um, thanking God for the testimonies that are coming in. Hey, Kife, and today is President's Day, so some people probably off, so that means they're not watching TV. They're doing something else. When they're at work, they're watching us probably. uh, and this Sunday, don't forget to join us for On Point again this week. We got men's. No,
It's Link Couples this week.
okay, that's the one they did Sunday. Is up today.
Yep. Oh, it comes out tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. All right, good. Join us for Link Couples Ministry at 7:00 tomorrow. Pastor Tyrus Bush and his wife are doing that one again. They're part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did part 1 in January, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. This year seems to be going by fast already, or maybe it's just me. It seems like
Yes, I agree. I feel like it's going by fast. Although last week went by really slow. Post Super Bowl.
Oh well, of course, Super Bowl. Yeah, the anticipation of it. And after that, yeah. And after, yeah, I get it.
I was like, the Super Bowl was just last week. It feels like it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I'm over it now.
Yeah.
The sting isn't as like what it used to be. It's still there, a little sting, but not like it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But we ain't getting paid for it. It ain't changing our lives in no way, shape, or form.
Very true.
Alrighty.
People.
So,
sorry. I was
no,
gonna say people really struggled with that loss.
I was hurt.
But I mean, to the point where it almost was like idolatry.
Okay.
Like it couldn't go on, and
they just being dramatic. That's all.
But I do think that sometimes when it comes to like entertainment, we put too much focus on that, and then we don't give some of that focus to God or
not in the same way.
No. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not in the same way. You're right. I mean, entertainment can become an idol to us because we could sit And at a concert, we can get super excited about a game. I mean, travel. Look, those Beyonce tickets. I see people like, look, I'm saving up as much money as I can, and you know they ain't got the money for these tickets, but she may never tour again. And I'm like, y'all, she ain't paying y'all bills. You know, I'm like,
yeah, it's too much. It's too much.
Take a loan out to go see her. Like, you shouldn't be going. I'm sorry, you just shouldn't be going.
You
know, I mean, the cost of the tickets and all, I'm like, are you serious? I'm talking from a financial standpoint. Let's not even go into the spiritual stuff.
Yeah, but people are so fanatical. You know, you got the Rihanna Navy, the Beehive, and all that. Love their music, but people get really fanatical to the point where it's like dangerous. You know, when that whole thing with Becky with the good hair came out, people were insane.
Oh yeah, like going to people's social media pages and saying you're the one. I'm like, she ain't bailing y'all out of jail if y'all get in trouble. She ain't doing that for y'all. What? Like, people will ride for a celebrity stronger than they ride for somebody that they know, and that amazes me. But I don't know. We have our idols in this country, and we have our idols in ourselves.
Yeah.
Something I talked about in the video about that we played for Sunday about reminding everybody Lent was fasting reminds you that your desires aren't your God.
Yep.
Fasting is you showing that God is God, not your passions. And we can make an idol out of what we desire, where we spend money for it, we travel for it, we'll do stuff for that we won't do for God. And it's like, because again, our passions are that strong, which is what got humanity in trouble in the first place.
Yeah.
Was their inability to control their passion for knowledge, for elevation. Adam and Eve in the garden. That's what I'm talking about. Just because they wanted the fruit and they desired it doesn't mean they should have ate it.
Yep.
Your desires can become an idol. And part of Lent is not just, I'm going to give up chocolate for 40 days. I mean, if that's all you do, it's not going to do anything for you. The whole premise is to give up something, to take something spiritual up, something godly up for the rest of your life. It's a time of reflection, repentance, renewal. So don't go into this Lent season, if you participate in or any fasting time that you do, and just say, well, I'm not going to eat. And that's it.
Yeah.
Prophet Amotang said, if you're fasting and not praying, you're just starving. You're not, the power is not just in you giving up something. What are you adding to? What are you praying more, worshiping more? How are you getting closer to the Lord?
Right.
And if you're not doing those things, the fast won't work. But again, we have our idols. And a big part of Adam and Eve's existence was stay in this garden, but don't eat this tree. Don't make your desires or anything outside of God an idol. And idolatry is not just you always putting like a statue up, like an image, like a physical image of something. An idol is anything that has your primary occupation.
Yep.
Like you said, if I have that over God, it's my idol. Whatever, it's my priority. It's the center of my life. It's my focus. If I give that more time than I give God, more attention, all that stuff, it becomes an idol. Work can become your idol.
Yeah. Yeah. And
sorry.
I was gonna say it's crazy how it can, happen without even thinking about it, by mistake. Which is why I think it's always important that we try to be intentional, not only just with our relationship with God, but being intentional that, okay, I'm going to take a step back from doing these things because they're removing my focus or whatever. So, and we've talked about this before, like being intentional about things.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something that we do enough of.
Yeah. And I think that's where that Sabbath principle comes from. The premise of the Sabbath was to not make work, success, your idol. Go sit down somewhere and remember who's your provider. That's really what it really is. So, but those idols are there. Cynthia, to answer your question about national violence on the rise, in in it being about God, taking God out of stuff, let me just say this. This country was built on violence. When they had prayer in schools, they had, I mean, I think the country is what, 1776. It's 2023. The country 19 is over 200 years. Huh?
That's too much math for me.
All you got to do is 1776, 1976, 200 years, and then go ahead and take it from there. So the country is probably what, all of 240, 250 years old, whatever like that, somewhere around there. And I think they said out of the 200 some odd years this country's been in existence, let me look it up. There's only been, I think, maybe 10 to 15 years where the country wasn't in war, at war. Think about that.
Wow.
That is minuscule. I think this country is built on violence, and what keeps it going is violence. And taking God out of stuff. I'm talking taking God out of stuff. I'm talking about really taking God out of stuff, not the formal part, because there were slave owners who went to church every day, prayed every day, and thought God was on their side.
All right.
So I don't, I can't sit there and say God was in that. But a country built on violence usually engages in violence to maintain its position. Let me look this up real quick. But I think that's where. But this country, I mean, don't get me wrong. The United States of America is a good country. Overall, I think, it's a great place to live. We have a lot of freedoms. We have a lot of flaws and stains on our country.
Yeah.
You ask a lot of people, would you rather live somewhere else? Most people say no. Look, it's where I'm from. I'm here. Family's here. At least I can go out and start a business and do stuff. You're not under authoritarian, that kind of thing.
Right.
But overall, this country's got some really bad things about it. And it was built on racism, slavery. Come on. I mean, let's be real here. Money, oppressing poor. I mean, how do you think people, some of the, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's true. I think fear mongering, is a big part of that too. And trying to instill fear in things to, not bring attention or equality, to the playing field.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just looked that up. The country's 245 years old. It's only been at peace for 15 years.
Wow.
15. Think about that. 245 years of existence, 15 years where there was no war.
That's crazy.
But our as a country, our idolatry of me first, my rights, my freedoms. I can do what I want to do. I'm all for freedom. And I believe people should be able to make their own decisions without the government all up in their business all the time about everything. So I'm not saying that at all. I'm not talking about being authoritarian. But our belief on our idolatry with guns. People say, well, guns don't kill people. People kill people. Well, if people didn't have the guns, guess what? We wouldn't have as much. And people say, well, it's not the guns. It's not the guns. It's people. It's not the guns. But then you have to go through. Look at every other country. America is the only country with a gun problem.
Make it make sense.
It's not the guns, it's the people. Well, if you take away the guns, I'm all for gun. I'm not saying eliminate all guns. I'm all for gun ownership. But if you make it a little harder for folk to get guns.
Yeah. Now, there needs to be some sense of responsibility in things, even in the sense of, for lack of better words, punishment. If you do this, this is what's going to happen, and not, be lenient on some people compared to others.
Yeah. I mean, this country has an idol of violence, selfishness, and we try to turn those into God.
Mm-hmm.
As Bishop said on Sunday, it's a religion of politics. It's really not about Christianity. Just because you put God on something doesn't mean God's in it.
Mm-hmm.
You can put God in it all you want to. It don't mean squat. I'm sorry, I'm just being realistic with you.
Mm-hmm.
In God we trust is on our money.
Mm-hmm.
But do we really act like we trust God? Because if you did, you wouldn't have to hurt people to get ahead.
Yeah.
How you gonna get me rant on this? How to me it's not illegal, but I wonder the ethics of it. You have a company making huge money. In a downtime, they lay people off. They cut back on health insurance. They make it harder for people to do stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they give your boss, the CEO, gets a $10 to $15 million bonus because it's in his contract.
Right.
While you're laying people off, saying we don't have money for benefits, it's not illegal, but the ethics of it. Before the crash of 2008, there was this one of the financial organizations that was in all those subprime loans. He got a job, and I think 10 days later, the company folded when the crash hit. In his contract, he was supposed to get a $10 million bonus. He worked for 10 days and got a $10 million bonus while they fired everybody and closed the business.
Wow. Insane.
I'm just saying. I know I'm ranting here. I'm sorry, y'all. We're going to be done in about a few minutes. I love this country. I appreciate the benefits that it affords, but it doesn't mean you ignore what's wrong. And we have a violence issue, a gun issue, all that. A selfishness issue, what I want, how I want it. And I'm going to shut up. Go ahead, Maya, talk. Come on, Evangelist.
No, I think it's very true. And I think part of why this continues to be a problem is because for whatever reason, people refuse to either look at the facts or they see the facts and they justify them, for self-gain. I don't know how to hold people accountable in this area.
Yeah.
Because it almost seems like it's just too big to do anything about, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can't control other people.
Right.
One person you can control is yourself. But I think one thing we can do is demonstrate. I just learned something last week. John 3:16 is better translated instead of "for God so loved the world," like God loved us so much that He gave His only begotten Son.
Mm-hmm.
It's better translated. This is the way that God loved the world, by sending His Son.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of flip it. Instead of it being so much about God loved us so much that He gave Jesus, God showed us this is how I love people, by being sacrificial and giving.
Mm-hmm.
And when you read it like that, it flips it all on its head. And it's a better translation of it, that God's love is sacrificial, it's giving, it's not selfish, it's humble. That stuff ain't gonna make you shout in church, but it'll change your life. But if you don't have God, if you don't have those things, you don't have God.
Right.
And I think for us, getting to your point, the most we can do is try to model as much love, God's way of loving, humility as much as we can in the face of evil, and pray and hope that God will allow other people to demonstrate that same thing. Because again, we can't control what other people do. All we can do is continue to demonstrate.
Yeah.
Practice and show the world this is how God loves people.
That can be a hard thing to do.
It can be. It is hard.
Yeah. Because, even just thinking about civil rights, and the people who modeled, what they did in that mindset, here we are now, years later, and we're still having to face these issues. So, like, how do you keep strong when you're sacrificing yourself, when you're continuing to believe and to trust in God? Like, how do you keep strong when you're not feeling like much change is happening yet?
Yeah. Now, this may sound selfish, but maybe it's just me. I'm focused on, I can't control what other people do. Let me focus on me and what's around me. I think if, because you're right, because looking at what's going on in the world can make you feel so inadequate because you can't do much when you hear some of these stories.
Yeah.
But I think real change starts with a bunch of people doing things to affect where they are. And if everybody was doing that, small change everywhere affects big change other places. Let me do what I can to help, this young man or this young woman who's struggling because of X, Y, and Z. They don't have a father, mother's not around, whatever. I'm just using this example. What can I do to help these people right where I am, and then hope that it spreads and other people do the same.
Yeah.
I think one of the things is that, especially nowadays, with the lie of social media and the lie of some motivational preaching, that everybody thinking they're going to be these big world changers. You're going to be a world changer. You're going to change the world. When the reality is, very few people reach that space that can move masses. Instead of us looking to be these world changers, why don't you start looking to work on your neighborhood?
Yeah.
Start with you, your house, your neighborhood. And then maybe those in the neighborhood will start going into county and state, whatever. But you almost feel like I'm failing because I'm not accomplishing this world-changing thing this person's doing. There was only one Martin Luther King, one Malcolm X, one Marcus Garvey, but they get the credit for stuff. But it was a bunch of a mass group of people doing the small things that were really making the big move, along with the people that were nationally moving stuff. That both, you need those platform national people and everybody else on the streets, on the ground, doing what they got to do. That's just the way it is. It's what can we do to affect where we are? If I can only touch 5 people, maybe those 5 people will turn into 15, or 15 will turn to 45, and that 45 will turn into 100.
Yeah.
What can we do? But I mean by world change, again, it's not, we got everybody believing that everybody's going to affect the masses, and it's not.
Yeah.
Everybody's not. And you're not a failure if you don't have an influence of 15, 20,000 people. Start with influencing yourself first. And then some of them folk who got that influence of 20, 30,000 people are nuts anyway. So I'm not saying all of them. But
for wrong reasons. Yeah.
I mean, come on. So that's my answer. I know it's a long.
Was that the butterfly effect? Where it's like a chain reaction where one affects the other?
I guess so.
Oh, I might be wrong in that. I think that's
what a movie.
Yeah, but the movie was based on a concept, almost like a ripple, like what you do by affecting one person it affects the next, and then it affects the next.
I didn't see the movie.
Yeah.
But it's like, what you say?
I said, I think that's what it was.
I get it might be.
I have to look it up again.
There's one book called Atomic Habits where it talks about doing the small stuff every day and how small changes lead to big change. Again, we're looking for the big, massive changes. But a lot of it is just small changes.
Yeah.
Small changes lead to big changes. It started with some students that refused to leave Woolworth counter. And they decided they were going to do that. One woman choosing to sit on the bus in the front of the bus. And, those things lead to big changes if people are willing to keep working on those changes.
Yep.
It's just, what can we do to work on where we are? We always say in our church, I'm not against foreign missions, but why would we spend so much money overseas when we got folk? Bishop always says we got folk that are homeless and need food right down the street from us.
Yeah.
we overlook them because they live in America. Like, no, there are casualties to capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not against us sending money to different countries, but our primary focus should be folk where we are. But there's this lie, you know, if you're in America, you can make it like everybody else. No, you can't. Everybody's not going to be at the top. Sorry. You're right. We do need more mental health facilities. Hi, Ada. How you doing? I feel like I ain't talking to you. What's up? All right, we got 5 minutes. You getting me all riled up and stuff. Just, not you,
me.
Not you per se. The topic. Just get me all riled up. Plus, I gotta go because wife has to leave to go to work. So.
Yeah. No, it's good talk, good conversation, and I think if more people could have these real, genuine conversations about the hard stuff, you know, that's doing something right there. It's just calling attention to it.
Yeah, and I think that's what we need to really focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Those little things that we have to do that can make positive changes everywhere. All right, I gotta go, y'all. Any other announcements you got me?
No, just, you know, we can't wait to see you throughout the week. Wednesday, tomorrow. No, today's Monday. Wednesday starts the Lenten season. So, Pastor Nick, you're gonna jump on a live call on Facebook and YouTube, right?
Wednesday at 7 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Bright and early.
Set 1,000,000 alarms.
I'll be there too. So definitely make sure to tune in 7 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Of course, we have Word Impact in the evening at 7 p.m. And then we have One Point on Saturday at 9 a.m. and a full day of worship online at 8 a.m. and then in person on Sunday at 11. There's no registration required. However, we do ask that you bring your IDs and vaccination cards with you. And yeah, we can't wait to worship with you.
Yeah, and y'all can see Maya shout during service. As soon as that music hits, she starts. It's like 0 to 10 in like 30 seconds. Ain't no rev up time. It's
just that good. That's all.
Once you see the head shake, it's a wrap. That hair that curl bounce start going. That's right. God's good. We having good service. All right, y'all. I gotta go, y'all. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.